Tucked away in a local neighborhood about 40 minutes outside of central Tokyo, Tonkatsu Narikura proves that the best culinary gems are often found off the beaten path. And let me tell you, it's a venture worth taking. Here, dedication to ingredient quality and a unique cooking method culminate into one of the world's must-try pork experiences. The restaurant's interior exudes a classic Japanese aesthetic with light wood tones throughout and bright lighting, creating a nice ambiance within the intimate space. With only 4 tables and 6 counter seats, reservations are scarce and expectations are high. Narikura is helmed by head chef Seizo Mitani, an almost revered figure in the world of tonkatsu. Mitani-san opened Tonkatsu Narikura in 2018, and it took him nearly 3 years to evolve his method into what it is today. Before we get to the star of the show, our journey begins with a trio of appetizers, a side dish of seaweed, beans, some corn, and Japanese pickles, a refreshing cabbage salad, and pork chunks with cartilage simmered in a sweet and savory broth. The cabbage was fresh and had good texture, but the highlight here for me is the oil-free dressing. It offers a great balance of tartness and subtle saltiness, along with a fairly unique tanginess you get at the back of the palate. With regard to the pork chunk broth, the cartilage has a nice, soft, gelatinous texture and helps balance the chewiness of the lean meat, which was unfortunately slightly overcooked. Next, we have a bowl of white rice and a hearty pork miso soup. The miso soup is pretty textbook and bursting with rich pork flavor, and it's also complemented by subtle sweetness from the onion, daikon, and carrot. Next up, the main attraction. It's just 3 simple ingredients elevated to near perfection. Snow-aged pork from the Niigata Prefecture, panko breadcrumbs, and oil combine to deliver exceptional flavor and texture. The snow-aged pork is tender and white throughout thanks to its unique aging process in a yukimuro, aka an igloo. The panko breadcrumbs, developed exclusively for Narikura by Kyoei Foods, create a crust that is crispy yet delicate. Lard from the pig's mesentery is used, which allows for precise control during the slow cooking process. Mitani-san's motto is low and slow. A 3 cm thick fillet is gently cooked for 7 to 8 minutes at around 130 degrees Celsius. Thicker cuts are cooked even lower, at around 110 degrees for 12 to 13 minutes. This low-temp approach allows the meat to tenderize and the panko breadcrumbs to remain crispy yet light. The precise timing is a skill honed over decades of experience, guided by the size of the oil bubbles and the development of the crust. The tonkatsu emerges from the oil slightly rare and rests for 2 minutes to allow excess oil to drain. Even time to table is factored in, ensuring it arrives at the table at the perfect moment, a beautiful white and pink hue, tender, juicy, and bursting with flavor. We begin with the pork belly. Each layer of the pork belly is visible, the fat rendered to a melt-in-your-mouth tenderness. When you take the first bite, the first thing you get is the crunch from the batter, extremely crispy yet delicate. It doesn't taste oily or over-fried at all, thanks to the low temperature technique. You then get the richness of that buttery pork fat that melts in your mouth, and then the tender lean meat below that then brings together all 3 textures. The tangy tonkatsu sauce cuts through the richness of the fat, and of course all pairs perfectly with the rice. At this point, I'm thinking that a lighter miso soup might have been a better pairing to help wash down the richness of the pork. The current soup, while delicious, adds to the overall heaviness of the meal. But as this is a tonkatsu restaurant, I can understand why chef wants to showcase pork wherever he can. The pork rib roast arrives next, which provides a great mix of both leaner and fattier meat. The meat in the rib roast is extremely tender, and the slightly higher fat-to-meat ratio makes it very soft to chew through. We then have the pork Chateaubriand, a luxurious cut that yields only 1 serving per fillet. The meat is succulent and boasts a clean, light pork flavor. While slightly chewier than the other cuts, the flavor is still spectacular, and the sauce helps to somewhat cover up the chewiness. For those that prefer lean meat, this would be a great cut to try. We additionally ordered the chicken breast cutlet with vinegar and tartar sauce. At a restaurant renowned for its pork, the chicken is surprisingly delicious, perfectly cooked, juicy, and bursting with flavor. Mitani-san achieves this by marinating the chicken in a mixture of salted water and letting it suck in the moisture, which helps prevent the meat from drying out. The homemade tartar sauce, which was light, airy, and citrusy, complements the chicken beautifully. To conclude the meal, we enjoy a pound cake. Its spongy texture complemented by the subtle sweetness of chestnuts. It's a simple yet satisfying way to cleanse the palate. It's fairly average as far as pound cakes go, but you're not here for the pound cake. It's more of a tool that allows you to linger a bit longer and think about how good that pork was before having to eventually leave. Narikura is a masterclass in simplicity and execution. Chef Mitani-san is one of those rare culinary artists who elevates simple ingredients to extraordinary heights. Behind each seemingly straightforward dish lies decades of experience and an unwavering commitment to quality. The service throughout the meal was warm and attentive. Despite the language barrier, the staff's thorough explanations were appreciated. Chef Mitani-san even used Google Translate to communicate with us before we departed. Considering the 5 elements that comprise our scoring criteria here at MIAM, we award Tonkatsu Narikura an impressive score of 8.78 out of 10. Narikura undoubtedly offers some of the best, if not the best, dishes that have ever been created using the 3 ingredients of breadcrumbs, pork, and oil. It's a meal that still crosses your mind days after you've had it. We at MIAM wholeheartedly believe that Tonkatsu Narikura is a must-visit on your next trip to Tokyo.